because I come next to him and I explain so that he will got everything.
Amazing.
And he's the king of the class.
Amazing. She gave him accommodations. She gave him accommodations.
To the specific case.
And look, if you adapt, this is the thing we use all the time. If I build a ramp, it's for everybody. So because we are so many I'm gonna go over the other ones with you. We'll talk through it again. So
They may be slow, and when the teacher is not very patient, he may want to go to another student.
right.
So sometimes you have to be very patient with them, very
Patience.
careful with them.
When
Leave
it's-
first to start.
Right. When a child has mental health issues, patience is important.
I would like to say we have this type of psychological problems in our classes, but as teachers we are creators, and we are very creative.
Yes.
And the best way to get this
If we are real with them and let them know what you're going through is not just you. That is a way we foster confidence and motivation. I'm going to do one more. Confidence in a child with a different cultural and linguistic background.
What do you do? Yes.
Okay, I think that as a teacher, you can learn about their culture, and after you try to adapt your activity.
The work starts with who? You. The work starts with you. You learn about their background. You learn about who they are. Then you bring it and incorporate it and make that child. And then you teach children how to respect that person. That is how you build motivation and confidence.
Yes, I would like to say even if there's sometimes
If you know me, I know you, this fosters mutual understanding. Because you got to know his culture, because he's the one that is new. The teacher should make that effort to know, and also make the student know. They also need to share their culture with the newcomer, so that if we have that, this fosters mutual understanding.
Yes.
Oftentimes we have stereotype on people when we don't know them. When I was in the US in the beginning of my fellowship, I had that problem with some colleagues. But once we got to know each other, because we did a lot of cultural presentation, finally we accepted each other. And that was the beginning of mutual understanding. Up to now, we are still, still connected. But because our trainers, they fostered that mutual understanding by having everybody do a cultural presentation. For people to know my culture, my country, what is important, the food, the beverage, the whatever, you need to give me the opportunity to speak my voice, for you to hear my culture. And then everybody does the same, and then we know a bit about each other's culture, and then that's the beginning of mutual understanding.
Which is our job.
You can sit with your team and say, what would we do if we had this situation? How would we handle this? That's important. You are the model for the students. You have to have a plan for whoever comes in your classroom. Because you're there, you protect them. You set the tone. It was because when I came here, and I always use a personal experience because I go through it and I'm not exempt, I had to learn. Thank God I had somebody like Mr. Kali, to show me this is what we do. Because at the core, we're all people. Culture is what we're brought into. But at the end, we're all people. And so my job is to respect you and then share who I am so that you can respect me. And that's what happens in our classrooms. Well said, we share who we are and what we believe, because at the end of the day, we all have feelings. And that builds confidence and motivation. So thank you for doing that activity as a group, since there's so many of us. To have us break up and talk about it would have been a lot. So I'm glad that we were able to really do that as a group. In conclusion, and it looks like my little thing is stopped. Okay. Let me exit this. So I want to say, I hope that with this presentation, you understand the cycle of confidence and motivation and our role as educators and what that looks like. We have a job in our class. We cannot control outside for every student that we touch. But in our class, we can create a community of love and respect that builds confidence and motivation. It's called the confidence motivation cycle. You reinforce it, you boost motivation, you give positive feedback, you identify differences, you accommodate, you make all students feel welcome. You give them steps so that they get that momentum and they want to keep going in your class. They have an intrinsic motivation to do the work. We will need them to achieve. They need to know they need to achieve, but we want them to be intrinsic. And then you will see the collective growth. Every student will get something to meet their goal. Their goals are different and they will look different. But we want them to understand that their goal is their goal. It's not compared to anybody. That motivation is important.
Okay. When your sister